You guys have been calling for it, and this game might have finally pushed me over the edge into full-on tank mode for the Montreal Canadiens. I'll be getting into why on this game reaction edition of Habs Digest. Hello, bonjour, ahoy, and welcome to this game reaction edition of Habs Digest. I'm your host, Josh Gosse. And before we get into the video, quick reminder for you guys to subscribe to the channel. Even though this Montreal team has been horribly disappointing as of late, we're still pumping out daily content for you guys. So if you don't want to miss any news on your favorite team, the Montreal Canadiens, this is the spot to be. So that game, again, very similar to the last few. Montreal gives up a couple quick goals early again in the first 5-6 minutes of the first period. Nashville jumps all over us, scores 2 goals within about a minute early, one from Cody Glass and one from Colton Sissons. Philip Forsberg gets an assist on that, and he's been red hot as of late. And again, it's a deficit that Montreal couldn't quite recover from. Yeah, Montreal made a bit of a game of it after coming out of the out of the first period, down 3-0. Montreal managed to put in 2 goals in the second, including an absolute beauty breakaway goal from Cole Caufield, forehand deke, backhand forehand, right to the backhand over the shoulder of UC Saros. Couldn't have done it any better. Perfect placement. Then Josh Anderson comes in. A bit of a hand-cuffing wrist shot that catches UC Saros' glove, sneaks by, goes into the net to make it 3-2, and we're hyped. We're excited. We're like, holy crap, Montreal is ready to come back. And then before you know it, Cole Caufield heads to the locker room with what looks to be an injury, and Nashville scores. Thomas Novak comes in and scores, and it just felt like Montreal's hopes and dreams were shattered, and they immediately went back to the team that we have been seeing the last few games where they've been a little bit dead, a little bit tired, just no energy. They sort of gave up on the game. Yes, we had spurts after that, but that really was deflating. To see your boy Caufield go to the dressing room and then get scored on, man, it's tough to see. Luckily, Caufield was back on the ice very shortly after, although in the meantime, while he was gone to the locker room, we had an interesting line of Suzuki, Dach, and Juraj Slafkovsky. And I'll be getting into Slafkovsky a little bit later because I want to talk about him a little bit in this video, but before we get into that, I want to just talk about Montreal's performance this game. Another time where we had a good period. The last couple second periods for us, which has typically been a weak period for us all season, the second period tonight and the last couple games has looked better. Better than the first and third period of each respective games, and Montreal made a good push. It was 3-2, and then we just collapsed again. And I think the collapsing comes from our defense, our defensive structure. I don't want to point fingers because I don't think it's specifically his fault. But since Justin Barron has been called up, Montreal's defense has collapsed. Tons of turnovers, just tons of giveaways in our own zone, some by him, but not all by him. And again, it's not like it's Justin Barron's fault. It's everyone's fault because it's not just him that's making these mistakes. But Montreal's defense has not been good. We saw David Savard back in action tonight, a guy that I thought would really help Montreal turn their defense around, but it really wasn't the case. I noticed him a bit. He was fighting for the puck, but he looked a little slow, a little rusty coming back from injury, and a little deflated, as a lot of the guys did. There was a period in the second period, and I had this written down. Cole Caufield looked legitimately angry, and that's not an emotion that we've usually seen from him. He was not just upset at himself, he was just raging, basically. This whole team is getting mad. They're getting frustrated because no one likes to lose games like this. Let me just read off the save percentage in the last few games for Montreal, and I'm not blaming the goalies. No, Montembeault and Jake Allen have not been good. In fact, they've been quite bad. But let's not pretend that the defense in front of them has been doing them any favors. The defense has been just as bad, if not worse, than the goaltending. So tonight, Montembeault with a save percentage of .824. Last game against Washington, Jake Allen, .775. Game before that, .829. Game before that, .895. We haven't had a goaltender have a 900-plus save percentage since December 23rd versus the Dallas Stars, a game which we lost. So it's frustrating. As a fan of this team, I want to see these guys do well. It's awesome we saw a Caufield goal tonight. Andy finally got a goal. And Gallagher, a guy who's been, even in games where he's come back healthy, has gone to the locker room for various issues. Feels like every game he's going back there to fix something up. But he came in the third and got a nice goal tonight, so super happy for him. But this game has turned me around. If you guys have been watching this channel, myself and Jesse have been sort of saying, no, we don't want to be on Team Tank. We want to see these guys fight. We want to win games. We want to fight for a playoff spot. And while, I think it would be fun to see us make a push, to see this team be successful again. I think I've shifted my perspective. Boys, girls, whoever's watching these videos, I think I'm officially on Team Tank. I'm joining you in the comments. I don't think Jesse's there yet, but I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to see this team lose some games. Now, let me get one thing straight. I'm not here to cheer for this team to lose. I'm not here to say, yeah, thank God we lost the game. No, I want to see them succeed. I want the young guys to develop. I'd love for them to be happy, and I'd love for them to win. But at the same time, I don't think I'm as upset when they lose anymore. A game like tonight just shows why we need some more prospects. We need to build this team up a little stronger, especially on the defensive end. And I know if we get some amazing first-round picks this year, we're going to go for a good center, especially if we manage to get a top few pick like Bedard, maybe Mitchkov, maybe Fantilli. But if we get that Florida pick maybe in the mid-lottery, maybe just outside the lottery, if there's a great defensive prospect, especially on the right side, we can pick one of them, or we can flip that pick, trade for a nice young right-handed defenseman, someone that's truly going to be a partner for maybe Caden Gooley or Arbor Jackeye down the road. Something needs to change, and we need prospects. We need to use our draft capital. We need to use our young guys and build up from the ground up. And I think adding another piece or two to this team that, let's be honest, this is not going to be a short rebuild. We're not going to turn around next season and immediately be a playoff contender, right? We have aging defensemen, some aging vets that are not doing anything. Quick fun stat for you guys tonight. We lost this game 6-3. We gave up 2 power play goals, right? No one on the team was below a -1. There was a bunch of guys who were -1, but there was one person who was worse than a -1. You want to guess who it is? It was Joel Edmondson. He was a -3 tonight. The only player worse than a -1 in a 6-3 loss. Man, he has not been great this season, and really it's been a bit of a shame since the new cross-checking rule has been put in place. It feels like Joel Edmondson has not been able to play the physical game that we saw, especially in the playoff run when we made the Stanley Cup final. He's not able to use his physicality like he once could, and it's leading to him not being nearly as effective in the defensive zone. And it's not like he's old. You look at Joel Edmondson, you feel like he's an old player. You feel like, oh, he must be 33, 34. No, he's not even 30. He's like, I think 28 or something, maybe 29. So he has some value left on him. He's still a solid defenseman. He still has NHL ability, obviously, right? He's still a good player, but I don't think he fits in Montreal anymore. I know he's been labeled as a very good leader in the locker room. A lot of the guys really like him, but if we can get some good value for him, I don't think we're going to get Ben Sherratt value, which sounds weird to say, but I think we can get a decent pick from a team, maybe a second or third, for Joel Edmondson's services if we, say, take on some of that salary. Not to mention the potential of trading Evgeny Dadonov, maybe trading Jonathan Drouin, maybe Sean Monahan, who knows. All these guys who teams have been calling about, we can ship these guys out for prospects, for future draft picks, something that can help the team build up. So a game like tonight, again, just shows why some of these guys maybe shouldn't be in Montreal for the long term, and it again shows why Montreal is better off getting a good draft pick this year. This is not going to be the year that we win. Like I said, right? Like, these guys are aging. This team's not going to compete next year. We don't have the roster for that yet. Maybe not the year after. But look at, say, in 4 years, right? Suzuki will be about 27. Caufield will be about, 25, 26? They'll both be right at the start, if not in the middle of their primes. Uri Slavkovsky will just be coming up. He'll be 22 years old in 4 years, which is crazy to think about. Still just barely developing. He'll be coming up. We have the young defenseman, Caden Gooley, who already looks like our top pairing defenseman this season. Will definitely be a solid number 1D by then, at least we hope. Jackeye probably a solid top 4 guy. Justin Barron, I don't know yet. Jordan Harris looks okay as well. But we have the prospects to build around, but we need a few more, right? Like, let's not kid ourselves. Suzuki, Doc is another guy, by the way. He'll only be like 25, 26 in 4 years' time. So Suzuki, Doc, Caufield, Slavkovsky, Caden Gooley, maybe Arbor Jackeye. We don't have a goalie of the future yet. Maybe we can sign one. Maybe we need to draft one. But we also don't really have the forward depth. Yes, we can go out and sign them. The problem is we have a lot of big contracts in the next few years that are going to limit us on signing these kind of depth guys that we need for scoring. The depth guys we have right now are just not producing. Paul Byron might never play again on LTIR. Yoel Armia is not producing a thing. Jonathan Drouin has looked better in the last few games, I will say, but still looks like a bottom 6 guy as of now, if you ask me. Josh Anderson is getting paid $5.5 million to produce like maybe a middle 6, closer to probably third line forward. And we're locked up another $6 million in Sean Monahan, who again will be off the books after this year. But you get the point, right? Gallagher too, $6.5 million for years and years and years. The point is, we're gonna need some extra guys to draft, to build up, to pay a little less money as they're coming up. Caufield will be extended soon. So I'm full on Team Tank. I think it's time for this team to lose some games. And I'm on board with it. As long as the guys are developing, as long as the players are, I know they're not having fun, but as long as they understand that this team is not going to win overnight, as long as they understand that this is going to be a down season in the long term of a big development where these guys are going to grow and blossom into future superstars, then I think it's okay. I've joined you guys. I've officially joined you guys. You've convinced me, so I apologize for not being on the team sooner. We'll see what Jesse has to say when he comes back to the videos. But again, I'm going to play the animation again if I can. Team Tank all the way. I'm not going to be as upset if they lose now. I'm not going to come into these videos and say, oh, we need to change this and that. Yes, there are things we need to change for sure. Defensive schemes, garbage. Power play again, the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. But we're losing games, and in the long run, that might be a good thing. That'll do it for this game reaction edition of Habs Digest. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We have daily content for you guys, and we love producing everything we have to do here at Habs Digest. I'm your host, Josh Gosse. We'll catch you in the next one.